Where are you going?
Oh, I thought you were doing an intro.
I just did an intro with you here. Good morning, Meshach. It's Friday, October 29th, and today joining me is Andrew Hughes, who has an awesome recommendation for you guys. Now, to be clear, a Fortune 500 company did force his hand in making this recommendation, but nevertheless, it's a good story and a great recommendation. Andrew, you want to tell us what happened yesterday?
I had a horrible day yesterday. I had a really bad day. So I went to the hardware store, and I was there to pick up three things. I needed a lot of wood and screws. So I went to Home Depot, as one does, which is not my preferred hardware store, and I'll probably really never be going back there.
Because it was such an awful experience, and because the other company is so much better.
Yeah. Anyways. So I get there, and the first thing I go for was the battery, because I knew where it was. They're a pain, because they got them all wired up, and they're stuck to the display, and there's a whole bunch of little security things. So
Andrew did the most rich boy thing that anyone has ever done. Go ahead.
Don't say that. Just say reckless. I do what I often do when I buy something, when I'm going to buy something that has a little wire security tag that's keeping me from taking the thing to the register. Instead of going and finding the person or whoever, which takes forever in a Home Depot, I just tear the packaging so I can remove it from its position.
Don't recommend you do that.
That was my first mistake. So I go to get the wood. It was much heavier than I anticipated, and it took me quite a while to figure out all the measurements. So while I'm doing this, I put my little itty bitty battery in my pocket.
Thing number 2 that I don't recommend that you do.
So I get all that, and then it's time to go get the screws, which took forever. And by the time I was done and had resolved that I was not going to find the screws, I had forgotten all about the battery that was in my pocket. So I took the wood to the register, I checked out, and walked right out. Almost. I almost walked right out, because as soon as...
Were you breathing fresh air?
Not before the alarm went off. Not before the alarm went off. And not a second later, maybe even before the alarm went off, some manager or whoever comes up right beside me and says, "I'm going to need that Milwaukee battery back." And I thought,
Oops.
Oops. And I tried to explain to him exactly what I had just told you. I said, "I'm so sorry, I forgot about it." And I pull it out, of course, with mangled packaging. And the first thing he says is, usually if people are trying to pay for something, they're not removing it from its packaging. Which, to that I said,
is true. Yeah.
And frankly, as soon as he said that, I knew where this was headed. There was not a lot I was going to be able to say to redeem myself. And in fact, there was nothing I could say. And after I realized that it was just up to policy and the corporate muscle of America, I resigned. He brought me into his office. He had a little bit of paperwork for me to sign saying that, I was a thief and was agreeing to 20 years hard labor and whatever. Thankfully, Home Depot is not trying to press any charges or anything like that. There is, however, a catch. I've been trespassed, which means not only can I not set foot in that Home Depot, I cannot set foot in any Home Depot for 3 years. Which brings me to my recommendation.
Lowe's. Meshach, I hope you enjoyed this little anecdote with Andrew. Don't forget Lowe's, your best supplier for home goods. Andrew, anything you want to say?
Schmackers, clutch your pearls and secure your belongings.
Meshach, we'll see you on Monday.